Consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. One cube, endless possibilities.
Mom, I'm very sorry. I wanted to come home last night, but I don't know what happened. I don't even know how I got drunk.
You don't know how you got drunk? Jesse.
Yes, Mom.
Have you been lying to us?
No, Mom, you know I wouldn't do that. Yesterday was my first time tasting alcohol. And I wouldn't do that again, Mom. I promise you. Please, I'm sorry.
Stand. That's it. You see, I allowed you to attend that party yesterday just because I wanted to prove to me that your friends are not bad. But contrary to my belief.
Mom, I'm sorry. I should have listened to you and Dad. I will not make this mistake again. I promise you. Please believe me.
I believe you. I sincerely do. Now you've realized that we don't hate those boys. And we want the best for our son. We don't want to get him contaminated by some bad eggs. And we don't want to lose him focus. Just look at me. If anything happens to you, I will kill myself. I will just...
No. Don't say that. Nothing will happen to me and you will not kill yourself. Please.
Hello. Chisom Wam. Kedu. I have arrived. Oh, my bones, they've all broken. The journey was too long now. Chisom Biko. Next time you're inviting me to this town, I must fly you. I must fly. I must take a aeroplane. Okay, I will find somewhere to wait for you. All right. Thank you, Mom. Okay.
What's happened now? What's happened now?
What is wrong with you? Is this how your father taught you how to wear trousers? Or is it that the material you gave to the tailor to make trousers is not long enough to reach your waist?
Now so we like mind day invoke, I beg.
Is it me you're calling Oga? A whole me, Chief Okeke, may go one of whom they say. Even the elders, they have respect for me. You're calling me Oga without adding Chief.
Oga, no verse. I mean, Chief, no verse.
Better now. You will now kneel down, use your hair to knock the ground 3 times and apologize. Then after that, you pull up your trouser.
Guarantee happen now. We resemble your children for us. I beg, Larry, no waka.
Oh, your sister didn't. Come there. You're not going anywhere. You must do what I asked you to do. Are you hearing me?
Okay, let's say
you see this big motor? You see this fine motor? It belongs to Nwam.
What is going on here? What did you do to my father?
First of all, look at their trouser. See where is this how they should wear trouser? I see their big toes. He's fighting with the trouser. Eh? They must fly properly.
Papa, please. This is the city. Please, just leave them. Leave them. It's your...
No!
Please, leave him. I'm so sorry. Papa, leave him now. I'm so sorry.
Now, leave here.
He's my father.
Baba, see, you know, so you be old man.
Please. Papa, just... Why are you behaving like this?
Why would they wear trousers like this?
Let's go.
Is their boot us fighting with
Papa,
them?
get your car. Let's go, please.
Sonny, that's how the man ran away from the hospital just because the wife delivered quadruplets. Can you beat that?
I don't blame the guy. Hospital bills and all other expenses. So, what do you people intend to do?
I think when the woman is fit to go, we'll know what to do.
I'd like to pay her bills. What do you think?
I think the hospital will allow her to go eventually. We'll consider using your money to start up a business for her so that she won't have to beg to take care of those little angels.
That's very thoughtful. Okay, why don't you discuss with her and let me know what she wants?
I'll do that.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you.
I think that young man needs a vacation. It'll help him get over these mood swings he's been having and would not talk about.
I agree with you. I was also thinking that he needed to use his visa before it expires.
True. I'll have a word with him and ask Peter to get him a flight ticket.
Fine. Maybe I'll also apply for a leave so I can go with him.
I was expecting to hear that, mother hen. Nobody will kidnap your son, not with your overprotective sister keeping an eye on him.
I have that. You that cannot allow your son to hang out with his friends without calling him a million times.
Well, I'm working on it now that he has turned 18.
You can tell that to Mr. Kuro. Not me. He'll probably believe you. For me,
In Ramadan, we are all connected. We all have the same empathy towards one another. We all feel the same rush to catch the moment of iftar and walk into the same special home-cooked meals. Every Ramadan, we are one where we fast, but not always when we break fast. This Ramadan, let's break fast together. Coca-Cola, real wonder. We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bowl Rice. Homegrown just like you. Big Bowl Rice. Tasty rice. Nourished you.
So why didn't you bother to call me since you returned?
You just blowing things out of proportion. I don't understand.
Okay. Oh, Jerry.
What are you doing here? Are you not supposed to be in Scotland?
Are you expecting me to die over there?
You haven't changed.
Well, I came in sometime last month.
Really?
Oh, yes.
And not even a word from you?
Remind me, Jerry, I got carried away with series of events, you know.
Eke, what sort of events would make you forget your friend and brother?
Did I say I forgot? I did not forget.
Anyway, how are the wife and kids?
They're both fine. I expect them to visit sometime, maybe November. I think so.
Why don't you join Uloma and I for lunch sometime over the weekend?
I will try. But like I said, my schedules are extremely tight this period, but I'll work out something.
All right.
By the way, have you heard from... Don't bother. Till I come over.
No problem. Good to see you again.
Oh, same here.
Have a great time.
Greetings to your wife.
All right.
Okay. You didn't tell me you're expecting your wife and daughter. Right?
Will you shut up?
Jeez. Oh, can you please get me out of here?
Get out when you want.
Now who be that? Who be that? Who dey knock for my door like this? Oga, so now you dey knock for my gate like this when you wan scatter am as if say na your house you dey.
Is that how to greet your elder? By the way, who are you?
Me? Me na the chief security officer of this beautiful, fine estate.
I'm the beautiful, chief security officer for this beautiful estate. Eh? Okay, now, kneel down and greet your elder.
Me? Kneel down, greet you. Good afternoon.
Atsa, sir.
This one, no move. Atsa.
Hey! Oh, what is wrong with this fragmented? Eh? Come, let me tell you. I am here to see Tochukwu Jerry, or if I take it the other way around, I'm here to see my brother, Jerry Tochukwu Williams. Now, take me inside.
Oga, no insult you. You don't talk that, what you call him, Oga, respect yourself. You see this my head. Hey, you think where they inside them, if they carry and put for you, you know if you carry them, make you respect yourself, oh. What will be your name, self?
My friend, my name is Mazi Okeke. Eh? The Omega One of Mbise. Are you hearing me? Now go inside and tell him.
Oh, you believe on Igbo. If you ever make a siar, let me come with it or no. Look at Palako. You go wait for here. As they do for this compound, they say if you come, I will go tell her first, say you don't look for her. If you guys say, make I bring you in, then you go follow me. But if you guys say, no, I don't want to use my eyes here, then me, I go lock the door for your leg, for your head, everywhere. As it be so now, you go wait for here. She for me go, what they call you for Mundimbi, say, make I go tell Oga, say, somebody from Mundimbi, say, you look for her. Make you wait for here. Make, Oga, hey, Oga, your leg go. Oga, come on, your leg, make I close my door. Oga, hey, I go break this leg, go.
Is that not the road?
Oga,
is that not the door?
Oga, you need to door hold, oh. Make you respect yourself, oh. Okay. I go break this your leg, oh. Hey, come on your leg, oh. Hey, I go scatter this leg, Oga.
I want to see my brother.
Oga,
and that is the road. So you must allow me to go.
You go wait, make I go tell him first. If he say make you come inside, I go open am for you. But if he say make you no come, now if he say you carry yourself, they go. Oh yeah, now make you dey go, make you wait, make I go call him. Oga, hey, Oga, go break this your leg, oh. I go break this leg, oh.
I will remove the leg.
You go remove leg.
But you must kneel down there and apologize to the elder.
Me, kneel down for you.
Yes.
Wait till happen.
Okay now.
Will kneel down for you. Oga, now, try now.
Go ahead.
To say that I was shocked when I saw Eke is just an understatement.
I explained to you why you didn't go.
And who says I'm buying that? I know Eke. Something is wrong. See, something is just not right, but he wouldn't say. Remember, I complained that something was awkward before he traveled.
Yes. Yes. But that doesn't mean there's an issue. Even if he's hiding stuff, he's a full-blown adult, for God's sake. You read meaning into everything. Huh? Sometimes things aren't what they seem to be.
All right. Dr. Mrs. Noel Williams, you have made your point.
I think I like that. Dr. Mrs. Noel Williams.
Okay, what is this one now? Okay?
One of my children.
Mr. Gold, who is this?
So, madam, I don't tell this man forget. Say, I can't tell Oga for saying they do for her. He said, I come from Mugi. He said, this man doesn't give me wahala. Don't they draw sis? They fight me.
Yes. Jerry, don't you remember me again? Jerry Tuchuku. Look at me very well.
Oga.
You can't remember.
Oga.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't recognize you.
Oga, should you here? Oga, no know you. Oh yeah, look at this.
It's okay. You can go.
Okay, sir.
One of my shoes. Who are you?
Who are you? Jerry, your wife is a very good cook. The chicken is very tasty. Almost exactly the way my wife Nina prepares it. Just that Nina will put more spices.
It's all right. For the last time, who are you?
Honey, I think we should call the police. This man here could be a security threat.
Remember, I'm not a security threat. My name is Mazi Okeke. You may go on, Afunbise. And I am a tax collector from the local government in Imo State.
Mazi, is this you? I didn't recognize you.
It's a small one. I believe it's this my golden beard.
Changed so much.
Well, life is good.
Ne, please get him an extra glass cup.
I will do just that.
Oh, what's wrong? You can still bring more chicken because this one is rounding off. Yes, need more. So, how is life with you?
Oh, but what happened now? Why which can't be that one? I did listen to music they offer.
I'm worried about Jesse.
So?
I hope he's fine.
See, may I tell you, the guy don't want to follow us talk. I've been at my force to do friendship.
I feel guilty. I think we shouldn't have lured him to drink at the party.
See, we can't undo what has happened. And unfortunately, I can't flog myself. Abi? Not possible now.
You get mine though.
Wait, now you don't get mine. As you did, so you don't die. Because of what happened now, you know the chop again. Now, I beg you.
So, Mr. Jerry Tochukwu Williams, the issue now is that my daughter, she's suicidal. And you are the only people that can stop her.
How? What is wrong?
Mr. Jerry, you will remember one fateful day when a newborn baby was dumped into a pit toilet, was rescued and brought to you at the local government secretariat.
So we're already running late.
Jesus, people are wicked. Oh, before he died.
Just calm down. What happened?
I found him in the pit toilet.
What?
Oh my God.
Pit toilet?
Yes, please. Oh,
Just wait a minute.
Please.
Oh, what a lovely child.
Lovely child. Oh my God.
You know what, sir?
Take this baby to the hospital immediately.
Thank God.
Make sure he survives.
Yes, sir.
I will join you immediately after my meeting. So you can go. Just go.
Thank you, please.
What a wicked world. How can a mother conceive for 9 months and give birth only to dump him in a pit toilet for maggot to feast on? This is really incredible and very ridiculous. What a wicked world.
I remember that incident very well.
TerraQ or Rapjoy. Unleash taste.
Next week on Movidian.
I hope your daughter knows that defamation of character is a punishable offense, and she could go to jail for that. Mazi, now leave my house. Honey, I need can now, so leave my house. Leave my house this minute.
Madam, I will leave.
But I won't do you out myself.
But before I leave,
I said leave my house.
one on the road first.
Out.
It is legal to stand with NTA and stand against rape and rapists.
Save me, save my children. I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
I stand with NTA. I'm a star.
I stand with NTA. I'm a star.
Inshallah, I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
I stand with NTA. I am a star.
I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
I align my patriotism with NTA in the fight and crusade against rape and rapists.
Nifa, I stand with NTA. I stand against rape and rapists.
Join millions of Nigerians. Stand with NTA. Stand against rape and rapists. That victim is one of us. Speak up and speak out. Be a star. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is here again. NTA2 Lagos Network Center is inviting individuals and corporate organizations to take advantage of the blessed month to earn rewards from Allah by sponsoring any of our spiritually rewarding segments on Ramadan Diet, showing between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day of the month of Ramadan. Call to prayers, interactive segment, Tarawih prayer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, living in the month of Ramadan, and so much more. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 369, GoTV and StarTimes channel 104. You can also follow us on our social media platform via Facebook at NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Ma'asalam.
Are you a fashion enthusiast, a fashion designer, or a fashion stylist? Your worries are covered because the Video Fashion News has got you covered with styling and fashion inspiration from A-list designers from all over the world. Stay glued and keep it locked here.
Lagos now, where Hindu have connected to respect your Hindu in Lagos. State houses of assembly have passed the federal government.
هبت نفحات أمسية فشد البلبل ألف تحية وبدا البدر الليلة شوقا يلقي أنوار الذهبية هبت نفحات أمسية فشد البلبل ألف تحية وبدا البدر الليلة شوقا يلقي أنوار الذهبية يلقي الأنوار الذهبية.
You know, the ultimate aim of prayer during the Ramadan is that of Sayyida. When Sayyida to Aisha asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that what is the best dua to make in this month of Ramadan, he said, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Sayyida to Aisha, he said you should seek for Allah's forgiveness and rahmah. Allahumma innaka afuwun karimun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni.
الجدول أهلا أهلا أهلا
Sir, but the money is bad. There's nothing wrong with this money now. Can't you see that everything is there? That's how I collected it too. We are all Nigerians. There's nothing wrong with it. You can spend it. If you take it to filling station now, they will collect the money. So just give me my change, I beg. But you should have told me before claiming the bike. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this money. Can't you see? Everything is there now. What is wrong with this money now?
Brothers and sisters in Islam, you've seen what just happened between the bike man and the passenger. The passenger was trying to impose a defected currency on the bike man. And the passenger didn't inform the bike man from the onset, evil should stop at your doorstep. You shouldn't allow another evil to pass through you. Rather, you should be an end to every evil. If I say, because I was given a bad currency, I should give it to another person, then I have not passed the message, I have not changed anything. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna mina nas, mafatihul khayr wa maghaliqu shar. That among people, there are people who are keys to goodness, and they are a kind of barrier to evil. So a Muslim should be a key to goodness and a barrier to evil. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Man goshana falaysa minna. Whoever deceives us is not a part of us. For you to give someone a defected money without informing the person is a kind of deceit. It is called khiyana, which is deceit in Islam. So basically, whatever you're going to do in any business transaction, al-ikhlas is the key. You should be sincere with the person whom you are transacting a business deal with. If you're going to give him a bad money, notify him from the beginning. If he agrees with it, that's fine. And if he rejects it, then that is the end of the business. At least, even if you don't have taqwa, your conscience should break you on its own. Thank you very much.
Communicating with people, communicating with your Muslim brothers, your Muslim sisters, everyone around you is very, very important. And having that heart-to-heart interaction with them is very, very important. But what we want to talk about, in this modern day, we have to also understand the concepts of silence. Because as Muslims, we are not people that will just come out and say anything anyhow. No, we have to take our time. We have to look at what we want to say. We have to listen to that your inner voice before you even utter it out. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man kana yu'min billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." That's what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam preached to us. So anyone that believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day, it is best for him to say good or he keeps silent. So silence is actually a virtue. Silence is an important character that Muslims have to have. You have to note that it's not everything and everything you have something to say about. It's not every topic that you see trending you have to just jump on and say anyhow thing. We see a lot of people, the self-proclaimed scholars today, that will just come out today and say a lot of things about the trending issues just because they want to have this fame for themselves, just because they want to jump on the trend.
فإذا أهل هلاله في الكون ينحسر الظلام في الكون ينحسر الظلام ونفوسنا تهفو له وتهيم فيه فلا تلام أيامه قدسية غيم سقى الدنيا سلام غيم سقى الدنيا سلام شهر السلام ضيف يزور بكل عام فإذا أهل هلاله في الكون ينحسر الظلام في الكون ينحسر الظلام تروي القلوب من الظما والليل يعبق بالقيام والعتق فيه هدية من ربنا حسن الختام من ربنا حسن الختام شهر السلام ضيف يزور بكل عام الأنهار الذهبية أهلا 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 المحفل أنتم.
Stories. We all love good stories. Relatable heroes, complicated villains, compelling plots, mind-blowing twists, conflict, suspense, and bittersweet endings. From fully grown adults to thumb-sucking children, everyone can recognize that these points collectively make up the whole of a great story. Whether it's in ancient Mesopotamia or Victorian London, human beings have been desiring and consuming stories of grand mythical adventure. Stories transcend many different mediums, like for instance in the form of Shakespeare's play, Hamlet, or for the film The Lion King, not the remake. Believe it or not, these two stories have had a profound impact on individuals and societies alike. So this begs the question, if great stories have the extraordinary power to inspire people to change their lives, then which story is the greatest? Only one story stands tall amongst the greats, the story of Yusuf. That's right, out of millions of tales weaved, none are as profound as the story of Yusuf. According to many scholars, Prophet Yusuf's story in Surah Yusuf is the best story ever told.
نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين.
Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of stories. And we're going to prove this. We're going to prove to you that the story of Yusuf is objectively one of, if not the best story ever told, in a way that's probably never been done before. How, you ask? Well, to do so, I'm going to be using one of the most popular and influential standards of modern storytelling. This book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, written by Joseph Campbell. Or you can just call him Yusuf. Joseph Campbell took thousands of years of storytelling and mythology from all walks of life and studied their similarities and differences. He compiled a theory from this study called the hero's journey, which has now become the standard for modern storytelling. This theory was used by some of the most brilliant artistic minds to conjure memorable movies, write intelligent stories, and create meaningful content for billions of people to enjoy. As a matter of fact, The Hero with 1,000 Faces is often labeled as one of the top 100 most influential books written in the last 100 years. This is why we want to compare the story of Yusuf to the hero's journey. But what is the hero's journey? Simply put, it is a narrative cycle made up of 12 steps, whereby a hero goes on an adventure to face challenges and ultimately emerges victorious, having undergone a change. The steps represent an internal stage which the hero enters on his or her journey. Already sounds like every other movie we've watched, right? I will be walking you through every single step of this theory to prove to you that the story of Yusuf not only fulfills each and every step, but goes above and beyond and blows storytelling out of the ballpark. But first, just a disclaimer. I should probably say that in no way am I saying that Surah Yusuf is great because of this book. Surah Yusuf is great because Allah said so. Full stop. Given its universal acceptance, we are just using the hero's journey as a comparative and universal standard. Okay, let's begin our journey. Starting at Step 1, Status Quo. This stage sets the scene. Our hero is ordinary, living in an ordinary world. It may not be good or bad, but they are complacent with their current situation. So what is the status quo in Surah Yusuf? In just a few verses, we come to know Yusuf as a young boy who lives under the wing of his loving and caring father, Yaqub. In fact, their relationship was so strong that Yusuf's brothers felt extremely envious of him. Step 2, Call to Adventure. Our hero may feel like he or she is comfortable, but that doesn't mean that they do not want to change. As a matter of fact, they need to change. They need a call to adventure to leave their ordinary, comfortable world, just like Yusuf. Destiny has summoned the hero. The young, soon-to-be prophet received his call in the form of a dream. He had seen the sun, the moon, and 11 stars prostrating to him. This dream signaled to Yusuf the journey that awaited him. Step 3, Refusal of the call. The hero initially hesitates or resists the call due to his fear or doubt. This is due to his or her familiarity with the current world and the unknowns of entering the new world. Campbell accurately says that refusal is essentially a refusal to give up what one takes to be one's own interests. Neither Yusuf nor his father necessarily refuses the call. Knowing that this call is from Allah, they trust His decree and take the necessary precautions. The only hesitation in this matter was the potential danger of the brothers' envy. Step 4, Assistance. Behind every great hero is a great mentor. The mentor is someone who can help guide our hero along his journey. They usually take the form of a father or a father figure whose valuable wisdom and guidance are of utmost importance for their hero to complete his or her journey. Campbell describes this figure as a benign protecting power of destiny. In Yusuf's case, he begins his journey with the assistance of his first mentor, his own father, Yaqub. Jacob, being the wise prophet, was justifiably worried for the safety of his beloved son and knew exactly what to do in that instance. His father interprets the dream as a revelation from God and warns him never to mention this to his brothers out of fear of their jealousy. Advice that would go on to take the form of a prediction. Step 5, Departure. Our hero has received the call to adventure, and his mentor has equipped him with the necessary tools to take his endeavor. Now it's time to answer it, either willingly or unwillingly. The hero must enter the unknown. In Yusuf's case,
unwillingly. His brothers couldn't handle their jealousy any longer, so they deceivingly convinced their father to take him into the woods to play. Instead, they had cunningly devised a plan to throw Yusuf down a well, hoping to rid him from their lives. A cruel act that caused Yusuf to depart his world and enter another. Yusuf's adventure has just begun. Step 6. Trials. Being launched into an unknown world, the hero must overcome challenges along the way. These challenges serve as opportunities for growth and transformation. During this stage, the hero must learn to form new alliances and counter adversaries. Yusuf was alone for the first time in his life, betrayed by his own brothers and stuck in a deep, dark well. One can only understand the trauma of undergoing such a trial, but this was just the start. Yusuf had been discovered by a band of travelers. Much to his delight, they had rescued him. But instead of doing the right thing and returning the young boy to his father, they instead thought to make a quick profit by selling him into the slave market. An ally to an adversary. He had been purchased by a wealthy man named Al-Aziz. Yusuf would expect nothing but cruelty in his enslavement, but it just so happened that Al-Aziz was a kind man. He would treat Yusuf with kindness and good treatment, an adversary turned ally. It was from these critical events Yusuf grew and developed his understanding of the world he came to inhabit. Step 7. Approach. From the learnings, growth and development of the trials the hero faced, he now becomes closer to his ultimate goal. Maybe the hero believes that he has reached his peak, or maybe they think there's no more to their journey. But they are mistaken. A challenger approaches when the hero least expects. They are confronted with the reality that they are not even close to the end. Yusuf became close to Al-Aziz, climbing the social ladder and developing skills in public dealings. Growing up in Al-Aziz's household had many perks, but one major problem: Zulaykha, Al-Aziz's wife. You see, Zulaykha had been keeping a close eye on Yusuf growing up. She had desired Yusuf for herself and wanted to take him even if it meant falling into sin. So she trapped him in her chamber and ordered him to come to her. Yusuf, being a righteous prophet of Allah, wanted nothing to do with this sin. So he raced to the door. She had caught up to him and ripped his shirt. Now, imagine this scene. Who should open the door but Al-Aziz? Step 8. Crisis. The point at which our hero faces the greatest challenge. Every previous thing that the hero learned is now put to the test. The hero has now entered the belly of the beast. After spending years living in a wealthy household, serving a master who had been kind to him, Yusuf's world is about to be flipped upside down once again. Al-Aziz had found his wife and his servant in quite an awkward predicament. He immediately issues a trial on the spot to see what happened. Zulaykha immediately accuses the innocent Yusuf of rape, even though all the evidence points towards her doing. Al-Aziz, out of embarrassment of this shameful story going out and leaking into the public, told Yusuf to forget this and dismissed his wife as if nothing happened. But word travels fast, and Zulaykha's mischief became the talk of the town, especially amongst the elite women. Yusuf had to bear the brunt of this nightmare. Zulaykha insisted on getting her way with him whether he liked it or not. She gave him an ultimatum. Either she gets her way with him, or she sends him straight to prison for the rest of his life. Here you can actually see the wickedness of Zulaykha's intent. Either she indulges in adultery or seeks revenge by unjustly imprisoning Yusuf. Yusuf, being the strong hero in this story, chose prison. And so Al-Aziz had sent him to prison on unsubstantiated charges. Once again, Yusuf has found himself in a dark place with no hope but to rely on his Lord. Having spent years in prison, Yusuf had come across two individuals who sought his interpretation of dreams they had seen. Being given this privileged knowledge by Allah, Yusuf interpreted the prisoner's dreams and recognized only one of them was going out alive. So he said to the man to mention him before the king so that justice could be done in his case. However, once the man was released, he completely forgot to do so. And so Yusuf was left in prison for several more years. His hope of ever being released had been quashed. His only hope is Allah. Step 9. Reward. The hero, having endured his trial of danger, is now at their lowest point. The journey so far has worn and torn him, and if he is patient, then he will be rewarded. The king of Egypt had seen a dream which deeply concerned him. He consulted his close advisors for some interpretation. None had any idea as to what the dream meant, and so even dismissed it as false dreams. The same man who had forgotten all about Yusuf just so happened to be in the king's court at that moment. He finally remembered his dream-interpreting cellmate after all these years, and so he went back to Yusuf to explain the dream for his interpretation. Yusuf interpreted the dream as a prophecy waiting to happen. For 7 years, the kingdoms will plant and it will harvest plentiful crops. This will be followed by 7 years of difficulty. When the king heard this, he asked for Yusuf to come to his palace, but to everyone's surprise, Yusuf rejected the offer. He said to the messenger for the king to look into the matter of his imprisonment. Lo and behold, after investigating, Zulaykha admitted to wrongfully accusing him of sexual assault. As a result of this revelation, Yusuf was released from his imprisonment, and not only that, the king appointed Yusuf as the chief minister of all of Egypt. Decades of desperately surviving in the lower echelons of society to rapidly rise to the most powerful executive position in the entire kingdom in just one decision. The hero had finally earned the reward. Step 10. The road back. The hero had attained the top prize and renewed his or her sense of purpose. Now there is only one way to go. It's time for the hero to return back home. But Yusuf is now the chief minister of the king. How is he going to return home? Well, in Yusuf's case, home came to him. His long-lost brothers have come to the chief minister to ask for provisions. Only unbeknownst to them, they didn't know that the same chief minister is their young brother, Yusuf alayhi salam, whom they cruelly threw down the well so many years ago. Yusuf devised a plan to test his brothers to see if they were still up to their old ways. The main part of the plan was to get the brothers to obtain their younger brother, Benjamin, from their father and hand him over to Yusuf for keeping and see how they handle it. Yusuf placed a goblet cup in one of the saddles of Benjamin and demanded the brothers explain themselves. One of the brothers immediately makes up the absurd lie that a previous brother, Yusuf, had once stolen before, and it wouldn't be unlikely that Benjamin would steal as well. They had selfishly placed themselves before their younger brother once again, and Yaqub had lost his son once again. Stricken with grief, Yaqub loses his eyesight as a result of his grief over his lost sons. If they were desperate before, now they are hopeless. They go back to Yusuf begging to trade their subpar merchandise for provision to feed their starving father. When Yusuf saw them bend the knee in desperation, he revealed that he was indeed their long-lost brother, Yusuf. They admitted their wrongdoing and sought his forgiveness. Yusuf didn't criticize them or admonish them. Famously, he said, "There will be no condemnation on you today." Yusuf gives the brothers his shirt and takes it to their father. He instructed them to wipe the shirt over their father's face to cure his blindness and to bring the entire family over to Egypt to live there. Step 11. New life. The hero is now back home, whether that be literally or figuratively, and now leads a new life. Jacob, his family, and by extension the rest of his tribe are welcomed into Egypt by Yusuf. Step 12. Restoration. The last stage of the hero's journey. After returning home, our hero lives with a renewed sense of perspective on life and wisdom. Like a circle, the hero is back where he started, but everything is different. Finally, Yusuf's decade-long journey has now ended. He sits his parents on the throne to honor them. Suddenly, his family fell into prostration out of respect, thus fulfilling the prophecy entailed in the dream that Yusuf had seen as a young boy decades before. Think about that. Yusuf, as a young child, barely able to take care of himself, was wise enough to trust Allah to see his plan through to the very end. Yusuf's journey was planned by the best of planners. So we just proved to you that a chapter in the Quran revealed over 1,400 years ago by an unlettered merchant who lived in the middle of the desert on a peninsula which had been untouched by empires has a narrative structure that's thematically complex, linguistically intricate, and ticks off every checkpoint of a study compiled only decades ago. I don't know about you, but I just got chills. When it comes to Surah Yusuf and other chapters in the Quran alike, to speak of their gems in a short video is doing a disservice to their greatness. And here's the thing. We only spoke about the story structure in the English language. We haven't even touched on the Arabic linguistic meanings of the verses. Just in this single chapter contains an ocean of knowledge, pearls of wisdom, and lessons for us to absorb and implement in our lives. Whether it's self-reflection, handling grief, exerting patience, utilizing power, or showing forgiveness, our own Prophet Muhammad ﷺ found great solace and comfort in reading Surah Yusuf during the most difficult year of his life, the year of grief. And that's the thing about great stories. They don't exist to entertain or distract people from reality. They exist to inspire change within people. Whether it's grief, confusion, sadness, or maybe even fear, you can definitely be sure to seek the answers in the stories of the Quran. You only need to pick it up and read. Dive into the trials of Ayub, the triumph of Musa over Pharaoh, or Yunus being swallowed whole by a whale. And who knows? Maybe you'll be inspired to create some of your own stories. And maybe someday you can inspire change in the next generation.
بدر الليلة شوقا يلقي أنوار الذهبية هبت نفحات أنسية فشد البلبل ألف تحية وبدا البدر الليلة شوقا يلقي أنوار الذهبية.
I had a client that I mentioned his name in one of my books, that he was a gym goer and having a lot of muscles, mashallah, tabarakallah. And I will never forget that brother because he was exceptionally tall. And he came to me after 1 week of his marriage, claiming that he tried to have intimacy with his wife, only to find out that he couldn't at all for a whole week. And when I chat with him about his practices online, I got to know that he was addicted for too long to pornography, and as a result, he couldn't function on his wedding night. And this is, by the way, it's not uncommon at all.
For many kids, pornography turns from a casual interest to an addictive, obsessive course.
The largest sex and porn addiction clinic in the country says it is now treating more workers who watch up to 14 hours of porn a day.
My dirty little secret was that I was addicted to pornography for years.
Pornography conditioned your brain to seek sexual pleasure through screens and pixels only. And as a result of this is now one of the most common things that have been happening since 2006, specifically with the rise of YouTube-like videos, the streaming videos online. With more accessible image of that nature, your brain will be overstimulated with these images, and as a result, many people have reported that they can't function sexually with their real-life partners. Erectile dysfunction. At a very young age, as young as 18, there are research in Italy, in Sweden, in America, where actually they have found that the rise of erectile dysfunction among youngsters below the age of 40 have increased by 30% within 10 years span of time. Erectile dysfunction. So you watch pornography, you have no problem with erection, you have no problem with ejaculation, but when it comes to real life partner, you can't function. And the reason is your brain had conditioned you to seek that pleasure and to attain that pleasure through screens, through pixels, through images only. This is known now, a condition known as porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Dr. Carlo Foresta, the head of the Italian Society of Andrology and Sexual Medicine, he stated, it starts with lower reaction to porn site, then there is a general drop of libido, and in the end it becomes nearly impossible to have erection. So imagine yourself in that position. If you're unmarried and you're planning, inshallah, to get married in the land, to make it halal, imagine yourself in that position. Would you like to actually look at your wives in the eye and tell her, sorry, even sorry, I can't do anything about it. Wallahi, my brothers and sisters, just 2 days ago, I witnessed a divorce case because of this same issue. Erectile dysfunction. For how long? 2 years. Wallahi, the brother told me, and the sister too. 2 years he couldn't function sexually, but when he's on porn, he don't have a problem with erection and masturbation. May Allah protect us all. We get a lot of reports where a husband will beat up his wife during sexual intimacy. Why is that? How did he learn these things? From pornography. We get other reports, even more horrific news about a husband who will handcuff his wife and try to simulate rape scenes that he had seen in pornography, in porn films. And as a result, all of that lead to something even more massive, and that is disliking the halal relationship. Subhanallah al-Azim. When you desire the haram, my brothers and sisters in Islam, what happens? You lose interest in the halal. So many people will leave their wives and hunt for prostitution houses, dirty massage places, walayadu billah. As a result of what? The escalation of the addiction in the brain. I think that's sufficient reasons for you, my brothers and sisters, to quit watching this film.
Today we'll be discussing infidelity, cheating in our local parlance, in our local connotation, cheating. When we talk about infidelity have different form of different effects, different problems that is associated with it. As such, we are going to look at it from different perspectives. We are going to look at it from the psychological point of view. We are going to look at it from the medical point of view. We are going to look at it from the mental health, point of view, and the spiritual point of view. First and foremost, it has become a problem that is very rampant in our society. And as such, many persons have decided to look at it as a societal norm, which is actually a societal vices. Cheating, which is also known as infidelity, has so many disadvantages. In fact, it has no advantage, but rather disadvantage. And among the disadvantages include, one, psychological problem. When you are cheating on your spouse, one of the problems you're going to face is distrust. You are going to lose your trust. You are going to lose that trust that your spouse have for you, that you have built, that reputation you have built for a very long time. You are going to lose it, and as such, you will never be trusted again. In fact, once you have lost trust, there is nothing you can do about it. You may likely lose it forever. Secondly, you might be someone in the society that have lost value. Because when people look at you as person that the society is watching, people are looking at you that you are the type of person that is cheating on your spouse, you lose value in the society. People who really knows what is personality, people look at you as someone that don't have any personality. People look at you as a person that you cannot be trusted in any form. Someone that can cheat on his spouse cannot be trusted. Someone that have lived with you for years, someone that you are married to, you have passed through all the pains to eventually get married to this person, and eventually you feel that the person is not enough for you, and you decide to go to the illegal way and cheat on this person. You lose trust and you lose value in the society. And that thing is, now the person you are cheating on, your spouse you are cheating on, will suffer mental breakdown. Many persons who are being cheated on, the similitude is like someone who have passed through some traumatic situations. So they may likely suffer from PTSD. So when they suffer from this, they are just like somebody. They are just like somebody who just come out from war, like people in Gaza, for example, or people who are passing through war situation in Ukraine or whatsoever. They are in the same position. So imagine you putting through someone you claim you love. The person is passing through trauma, PTSD, mental breakdown, depression, because that so-called person he loves so much, that so-called person he has entrusted so much, decided to betray their trust by passing through the illegal means to satisfy their ego or their cheating tendency. So that person you are cheating on will suffer mental breakdown because they have entrusted their life to you, and you end up misusing that opportunity. Another thing that you may suffer when you are cheating on your spouse, you yourself may feel dirty. You may feel that you are no longer close to God. Except, initially when you are doing it, there's what we call dopamine. The dopamine rush comes in and you feel happy when you do it. But at the end of the day, after that dopamine the concentration of dopamine in your blood have reduced, you start regretting your action. But a time will come, you become so addicted to it that you no longer regret your action. At this time, you become so addicted to it that there's nothing anybody can do about it again. So you are destroying yourself. You are becoming an addict to something that the society frown at. Another thing that you yourself may eventually suffer, which is the cruise of this matter, is the medical perspective. There are a lot of situations whereby you cheat on your spouse, it boomerangs. It boomerangs not just to you, it boomerangs and your spouse suffers the consequence, you suffer the consequence, your spouse suffers the consequence, your children suffers the consequence. For example, you went outside, you cheat on your spouse, at the end of the day, you carry you bring in, you get venereal diseases such as syphilis. Let's say syphilis, for example, you cheat on your spouse and you get syphilis. And syphilis is one sort of a bad infection that many persons don't even know that they have it. It's common today. Many people don't know that they have it. And you may even have it for years. You are not even aware that you are carrying syphilis. Yes. Except sometimes syphilis can cause madness. Syphilis can cause a lot of heart problem, joint problem. Think of it. There are a whole lot of complications that syphilis comes to, and this is why it is called the great mimicker, because you'll be treating other diseases but not knowing that what you're actually carrying is syphilis. Another thing that can happen when you eventually go out there, you bring another disease like gonorrhea, for example. You bring in gonorrhea to your spouse, and your spouse may not even be aware, because the female, for example, might not, develop the symptoms of gonorrhea immediately. It takes time, it takes years for them to, develop, the symptoms of gonorrhea, especially when they eventually want to take it. They will now discover that they are being infertile. You are being unjust. Probably you might even go out there, bring in syphilis, infect your wife start having bilateral tuber blockade, and you start accusing her of what? Infertility, not knowing that you are the one who went out there, bring in the disease such as gonorrhea and chlamydia, you give your wife, and your wife is asymptomatic. She's not even aware until when she wants to start breeding children. At the end of the day, infertility comes in because the tubes are blocked. How you have just destroyed someone you called your love. You have just caused complication. You have just caused so serious problem for that so-called woman you love. Now she has bilateral tuber blockade. What are you going to do about it? Infertility. The worst that happen after you have brought this disease to her, the tubes are blocked. At the end of the day, you may now go back to that woman that you have been cheating with and bring her in as a wife who will now eventually start breeding children for you. Whereas the person you marry as your true love, you have destroyed that person's life. Then if eventually she gets pregnant, probably she's not having gonorrhea that eventually block her tube. She eventually gets pregnant anyway. But you have given her syphilis. She may not be aware. The syphilis will pass down to the children, and the children are infected. The children's brain are destroyed. The children's life becomes miserable. The children start having congenital anomaly, congenital deformities, and you will not even know what is causing you. Rather, you claim that it is the evil eyes that is causing you to have children that are deformed, not knowing that because you went out there to bring syphilis, you infect your wife, and your wife in turn infect the unborn child, and the unborn child eventually become a malformed child. Then you start blaming village people, not knowing that it is your action. You went out to play away match that is causing this problem. Another thing that could result to due to cheating could be what? HIV. I don't even want to talk about HIV because there are a lot of complications that goes along with HIV. HIV should be the last we'll talk about. human papilloma virus, for example, is another complication that you could go out there, bring in, and give your wife. The bad thing about human papilloma virus is it does not present with any symptoms. Yes, it does not present with any symptoms. It does not, you cannot be protected with condoms. No matter how much you do with condoms, if you are meeting someone that have this virus, you will get it and take this virus to your wife. And the bad thing about human papilloma virus is that it transforms into cancer. Yes, cervical cancer. The commonest cause of cervical cancer in women today is what? Human papilloma virus. It is the common cause of cervical cancer. In fact, it is the number one cause of cervical cancer. And this is the reason why we cannot trust anybody. This is the reason why we advocate that any woman that has become sexually active must undergo the pap smear, must do the pap smear so that to rule out human papilloma virus. In fact, the teaching is any woman that is 15 years and above that is sexually active must do what? You must be checked for must screen for human papilloma viruses. So this is some of the medical perspective from the aspect of infidelity, from the aspect of cheating. Another reason why you should not cheat is when you go out there, you bring HIV. At the end of the day, you infect your wife. HIV have a window period such that she might not even be aware that you yourself are infected, and you yourself might not even be aware that you are even infected because they are usually asymptomatic. At the end of the day, what now happens is you become sick after years and years, and the root of it might not even be traced. Now, what about gonorrhea? You go out there, you cheat, and you bring in gonorrhea. And many of you, by the time you have gotten this gonorrhea, you are shy to meet the doctor. You rather go to a chemist that nobody knows you and you want to take antibiotics. The bad thing about it is when you are not properly treated, there are a lot of complicated Neisseria gonorrhea out there that are resistant to antibiotics today. So you go out there, Nurse Elysia give you some certain antibiotics which will not be treated well. At the end of the day, you have run out of this gonorrhea and you eventually develop urethral stricture. Urethral stricture is a very bad complication in male. When we say urethral stricture, we are talking about a stricture in between your urethra, where the urine comes out, becomes, you have stricture there, and at the end of it, you find it difficult to urinate. And this is a very bad complication that is not favorable to men at all. You suffer a lot. In fact, there are a lot of complications, and there are a lot of it comes with a lot of pains if eventually someone develops urethral stricture. There's a research which is published that says that men who eventually develop who have gonorrhea that was not properly treated eventually develop urethral stricture. By the time 19 years later, many of them, almost 100% of them, will develop urethral stricture. So this is one of the reasons why you as a man, you shouldn't go out there and cheat on your spouse. So it is very disgusting, it is very dirty, it is lack of trust, lack of discipline. You have a wife at home and eventually you are cheating on her, you are going out there to sleep around. Why don't you, from the Islamic perspective, if you see any woman that you love, that you know that you want, why don't you go through the legal means? You marry this woman legally as instructed by Islam, rather than passing through the corner and you are sleeping with her. At the end of the day, you cheat on her and you bring in diseases. Now, this is just one aspect of cheating. Another aspect of cheating is emotional cheating, and you are giving another woman attention and you are not giving your spouse attention. So many men does this. They don't even know the woman in person. Instead of them to even discuss with their wife and give them this attention, rather they have one online girlfriend that they rather spend their time with. It is also cheating. You are also cheating on your spouse. Yes, you have another girlfriend outside that you are not even having any illicit affair with her, but the money that you ought to have spent on your family, you are spending on her. It is also cheating. But people don't really talk about this aspect of cheating, but rather we are concentrated on when you are eventually confirmed that it is cheating, then you are not having that sexual intercourse. That is when you confirm that you are cheating. All those other things you are doing, you are giving them money, you are chatting with them, it is just it is not yet confirmed yet. It is when you are not doing the do with them, that is when it is actually confirmed that you are.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Kamal Ahmed. Please keep on watching Amana Legacy Foundation across social media platforms. Our support in watching them and following them will count a lot to make their message to get to the larger population. May Allah reward you all as you do that. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khairan.
Now, from the Islamic point of view, cheating, Islam prohibits it. That is why the Quran says, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَاحِشَةً وَسَاءَ سَبِيلًا. It is so bad that even Yusuf alayhi salam, one of the prophets of God in the Quran, he rather chose to go to jail than to have an illicit affair with the king's wife. So he rather went to jail than because of the illicit nature, because of the disgusting, because of how disgusting and how dirty it is in the sight of God. Yusuf went to jail instead of doing this thing. Even some scholars of Islam, there's one scholar that wrote one book, he's an Egyptian scholar. In that book, he said, there was a time a woman was trying to seduce him. Instead of him doing this, what did he do? He rather used, excreta to bait himself so that he will look disgusting and look unattractive to the woman. And it worked for him. So many men, so many people who are close to God, they have opportunity to do this, but they know what it is. And they know the Islamic point of view, they know the spiritual point of view, they run away from it. So it is, the Quran said, do not go near. The Quran did not say, don't do it. It said, don't even go near. Don't even go near. Don't even go close to it. Don't even go closer to it. Talk more of doing it. Many of us, we are getting close to it. We chat with illicit people online. We laugh with illicit women online. We do all sorts of things called social media online. We have besties who are females. At the end of the day, this is pushing us towards closer to doing this evil act of, adultery. Now, to differentiate it, we have adultery, we have fornication. In the Islamic point of view, if you are married, even though you are divorced, once you have tasted marriage, if you do it outside the confines of marriage, even though you are divorced, it is classified as adultery. But if you are not married, then you do it is classified as fornication. They are two different things, and the punishment for these two sins differs. The punishment for adultery is different from the punishment of fornication. In Islam, those who commit adultery should be given a capital punishment. Unlike the fornication, that those who commit fornication should be flogged and may be banished from the society, from the community for 1 year. Adultery is not like that. Adultery, the punishment for adultery is usually death. This is what Islam says, and this is the reason why you shouldn't go close to it at all, because the reason it is classified as treason, it is classified as betrayal of trust. You have betrayed your family, you have betrayed the society, you are breeding what will destroy the society. This is why the punishment for adultery is massive. The punishment for adultery is massive. So the complications, the complexity of adultery, the complications of adultery, they are too numerous to mention. For example, some persons have, children out of wedlock somewhere, and they are married. Their wife is not even aware that they have children somewhere because they are engrossed in adultery. At the end of the day, those so-called children that this person is breeding somewhere, they don't even have any father figure. Yes, they are being brought up without a father figure. Many of them are not being cared for, especially those so-called single mothers, for example. They are not being cared for. They are the one carrying this load on their own. At the end of the day, they breed children that will be nuisance to the society, children that will have criminal tendency to the society, children that want to be doing, all sorts of prostitution. They will start bringing them in the society because there is no fatherly figure. So the complexity, the complications, the evils of adultery is too numerous to mention. To run this video up, adultery can result to mental breakdown. Many women who are depressed today, one of the reasons why they are depressed is because they caught their husband cheating. Many women have killed themselves, they become depressed, and eventually they committed suicide because they caught their men cheating on them. Many women eventually we're not behaving like mad people. They now have serious mental breakdown because they caught their husband cheating. Many women now suffer from post-traumatic stress disorders because they caught that man that they never believed for once that he would cheat. They caught him cheating. It is also, the reverse is also the case. Women too cheat on their spouse. Women too cheat on their spouse, and the reverse is also the case. The men also suffers this mental breakdown. Now take a look. A woman goes out there, cheat on the spouse, and bring another pregnancy to the man. And eventually the man found out that the pregnancy himself, the child that he has been taking care of for years, is not his. What happened to the man? Mental breakdown. That is the kind of mental breakdown the women also suffer. But people tend to they don't even want to look at it from that perspective. Women also suffer mental breakdown when they catch their husband doing this cheating. Now, you cheat first time, you are caught. Your wife suffers serious mental breakdown. She forgives you, but the trust is eroded. You do it second time. You keep making this someone else's daughter to pass through mental breakdown several times. First time you do it, she passed through mental breakdown. She has not recovered from the post-traumatic stress event she has passing through. You are doing it a second time. You are doing it a third time. You are doing it a fourth time. In this situation, it is better for this woman to leave you than to, one, suffer this mental breakdown, depression. Two, it is better for her to leave you instead of you to bring disease to her, such as gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, HPV, that's human papilloma virus. Of course, HIV is not curable. Hepatitis is not curable. Hepatitis B is not curable. Yes, syphilis is curable, but sometimes the damage could already be done before they discover, and the damages are not reversible. Human papilloma virus she might already have it and even be on first stage of cervical cancer before they eventually found out. So these are some of the complexity, the complications, the evil that comes with adultery. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope this video will go a long way to enlighten us and tell us that do not cheat on your spouse. Do not do it. It is an evil way which no reasonable human being should do. Thank you so much for your attention. Bye.
ينحسر الظلام ونفوسنا تهفو له وتهيم فيه فلا تلام أيامه قدسية غيم سقى الدنيا سلام غيم سقى الدنيا سلام ينحسر الظلام في الكون ينحسر الظلام تروي القلوب من الظما والليل يعبق بالقيام والعتق فيه هدية من ربنا حسن الختام من ربنا حسن الختام يلقي الأنوار الذهبية
to appreciate people that inshallah they've impacted knowledge in me, I'll start by appreciating my mudir, the mudir of my kuliya, Sheikh Dr. Abdul Qadir Salman Al-Jum'ah, Hafidhahullah wa Ra'ah. Also, my parents, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, they've contributed to this journey. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them more than they've done to me. The rest of my teachers too, those that time do not permit me to actually mention their name. So I sincerely pray for you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with every one of you.
أنوار الذهبية يلقي الأنوار الذهبية يلقي الأنوار الذهبية أهلا 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 المحفل أنتم أبهى أنتم أجمل فالأشعار تراقص بشرا وسرى الحب كماء الجدول أهلا 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 المحفل أنتم أبهى أنتم أجمل فالأشعار تراقص بشرا وسرى الحب كماء الجدول قد شرفتم حفل السمر مثل نجوم حول القمر قد شرفتم
I know you're looking at me, you watch me like TV. You're looking at me 3 times in a row. If you want to say hello, just say hello. I think you look so pretty, you look like spaghetti, like you are needing some love. I don't know, but I've seen that look before. And if you don't say hello, I will say hello. Nakupenda, nakupenda. Nakupenda, nakupenda. Oh my baby, so my God. Oh baby, so my God. Oh yeah. Nakupenda, nakupenda. That you're the one for me. If you don't say hello, just say hello. I saw you looking at him, but you're the one I'm feeling. Been looking at you 4 times in a row. I had to let you know, so I came to say hello. I know you need somebody, don't care about the money. You only need someone to hold you close. And if you tell me no, I'll still say hello. Hello. Nakupenda, nakupenda. Nakupenda, nakupenda. Oh my baby, so my God. I go treat you like gold. I go make you my own. I know what you're looking for, and I got it all. I know he has it all, but I have it more. I'll give you what you need if you open the door. I say hello.
Lagos now, where you know how to make such a respect. You know, in Lagos, state houses of assembly have passed the federal government.
The Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, is one of Rome's most famous buildings, an enduring monument to the culture of the ancient Romans. It is an elliptical amphitheatre in the centre of the city, the largest ever built in the Roman Empire. It is considered one of the greatest works of Roman architecture and Roman engineering. Completed in 80 AD, it was designed to host huge spectacles. The amphitheatre has almost 2,000 years of history. This is where the ancient Romans gathered to watch bloody combat between gladiators and battles between men and wild animals. This is where they threw people to the lions. Anyone could attend the events in the Colosseum, as admission was free. Today, it's a major tourist attraction, playing host to 3.9 million visitors each year. The history of Rome spans 2,800 years of the existence of a city that grew from a small Italian village in the 9th century BC into the centre of a vast civilization that dominated the Mediterranean region for centuries. Its political power was eventually replaced by that of peoples of mostly Germanic origin, making the beginning of the Middle Ages. Rome became the seat of the Roman Catholic Church and the home of a sovereign state, the Vatican City within its walls. Today it is the capital of Italy, an international worldwide political and cultural centre, a major global city, and is regarded as one of the most beautiful cities of the ancient world. Ancient Roman architecture adopted certain aspects of ancient Greek architecture, creating a new architectural style. The Romans were indebted to their Etruscan neighbours and forefathers who supplied them with a wealth of knowledge essential for future architectural solutions, such as hydraulics and in the construction of arches. Later, they absorbed Greek and Phoenician influence, apparent in many aspects closely related to architecture. This can be seen in the introduction and use of the triclinium in Roman villas as a place and a manner of dining. The Pantheon is a supreme example of this, particularly in the version rebuilt by Hadrian, which remains perfectly preserved and which over the centuries has served as the inspiration for countless public buildings. Life in ancient Rome revolved around the city of Rome, located on 7 hills. The city had a vast number of monumental structures like the Colosseum, the Forum of Trajan and the Pantheon. It had theatres, gymnasiums, marketplaces, functional sewers, bath complexes complete with libraries and shops, and fountains with fresh drinking water supplied by hundreds of miles of aqueducts. Throughout the territory under the control of ancient Rome, residential architecture ranged from modest houses to country villas. In the capital city of Rome, there were imperial residences on the elegant Palatine Hill, from which the word palace derives. The low plebeian and middle equestrian classes lived in the city centre, packed into apartments or insulae, which were almost like modern ghettos. These areas, often built by upper-class property owners to rent, were often centred upon collegia or taberna. These people, provided with a free supply of grain and entertained by gladiatorial games, were enrolled as clients of patrons among the upper-class patricians, whose assistance they sought and whose interests they upheld. The Colosseum, projected by Ribeiro or maybe Gaudenzio, was welcoming long combats between gladiators, executions and hunting spectacles. More or less 80,000 spectators were following the combats that could go on from sunrise to sunset and also up to the deepest night. According to the chronicles of the time, it looks like that the fights preferred by the public were the chaotic melange of tens of gladiators, invented by the Imperator Claudio, called sportule. All the religious celebrations, the recurrence and the military victories were celebrated during the imperial era with the combats of the gladiators. Emperor Nero was born near Rome on the 15th of December 37 AD and was known as a child as Domitius. Through his mother Agrippina, he was the only surviving direct male descendant of the Emperor Augustus. In 49 AD, Agrippina married her uncle, the Emperor Claudius, and began to promote her own son's claim to the succession at the expense of Claudius's own son, Britannicus. She persuaded Claudius to adopt Domitius, who now took the name Nero, as his son, and when it seemed as if Britannicus would be favoured, she had Claudius poisoned, and Nero became emperor. Agrippina clearly wished to rule through Nero, and her portrait briefly appeared on the coins alongside his. But the new emperor paid more heed to his advisors, Burrus and the philosopher Seneca, and the result was 5 years of exemplary government. Britannicus was poisoned by Nero a year into the new reign, and in 59 AD, he had his mother put to death. In 62 AD, Burrus died and Seneca retired, removing the key restraining influences on Nero. He divorced his wife Octavia, who was later executed, and married his mistress. 2 years later, much of Rome was destroyed in a fire, for which Nero was blamed, although this is now regarded as unlikely. Nero diverted blame from himself by accusing the Christians, then a minor religious sect, of starting the fire, leading to a campaign of persecution. He provided help for Romans made homeless by the fire and set about the necessary rebuilding of the city, appropriating a large area for a new palace for himself. This was the architecturally and artistically innovative Golden House, Domus Aurea. A series of treason laws in AD 62 and the colossal fire in Rome of AD 64, which destroyed most of the city, helped seal Nero's reputation. Nero used the treason laws to kill anyone he considered a threat. In the year 65, Nero appeared in public as an entertainer. The next year, a conspiracy was hatched to replace him with Calpurnius Piso. The Senate declared him a public enemy, and he committed suicide on the 9th of June 68 AD. Disputes over his succession led to a civil war in Rome. The Emperor Vespasian started the construction of the Colosseum about a decade after Nero's reign and the Great Fire on Rome in 64 AD. Vespasian wanted to give a spectacular enhancement to the Forum's area and central Roman city life, which had depreciated as a public centre under Nero's reign. The name of this new amphitheatre was initially the Flavian Amphitheatre, in honour of Vespasian's ancestors. The name Colosseo, apparently derived from a nearby bronze statue of Nero that was defined as colossal, was later given at some time in the medieval ages. Vespasian died a year before the completion of the Colosseum, but it was nevertheless officially inaugurated in 80 AD by Titus, one of his sons. A few years later, Domitian, the youngest of Vespasian's son, became emperor, and he expanded the Colosseum's construction by increasing its crowd capacity at the third level. He also commissioned the development of an underground network of tunnels and cells to contain slaves and wild animals. The Colosseum was used as a sport and drama amphitheatre for about 500 years. Over these years, the Colosseum had to receive major repairs, especially after a lightning-caused fire in 217 AD. Even after the fall of Rome in 476 AD, although there were no more gladiator fights, it was still used for spectacle kind of events, like animal hunting and drama, for almost a century. It then eventually lost its initial entertainment vocation to serve as housing in the early medieval ages. It was even used as a castle at some point by a very influential Roman family. After the Great Roman Earthquake of 1349 AD, which left large damages on the Colosseum, a religious community used the old amphitheatre as a home up until the early 1800s. In the mid-18th century, the Pope Benedict XIV declared the Colosseum sacred because of the Christian martyrs that apparently perished in the arena in its earlier history. The Colosseum was the empire's primary stage for gladiatorial combat for nearly 4 centuries. In a show of Rome's wealth and extravagance during the opening ceremonies in 80 AD, 100 days of the games were held. The ancient Romans were great builders. They built things to last. The Colosseum was built of concrete, faced with stone, as were most amphitheatres. It was built in the early days of the Roman Empire. Construction was initiated by the Emperor Vespasian around 72 AD. His son Titus reigned over its completion and the official opening ceremonies about 8 years later in 80 AD. It was built near the site of Nero's Domus Aurea. This is significant in that his successor Vespasian wanted to erase the memory of Nero's extravagant reign from the minds of Romans. It got its popular name, the Colosseum, because of Nero's colossal statue of himself, which was nearby. The huge theatre was originally built encompassing 4 floors. The first 3 had arch entrances, while the 4th floor utilised rectangular doorways. The floors each measured between 10 to 13 metres in height. The total height of the construction was approximately 48 metres. The Colosseum had a total spectator capacity up to 55,000. There were no less than 76 numbered entrances and 4 additional entrances reserved for the emperor, other VIPs and the gladiators. The Colosseum was designed for easy crowd dispersal. The entire audience could exit the building in 5 minutes. The interior was divided into 3 parts: the arena, the podium and the cavea. Now more than 2/3 of the original building had been removed and the rows of the seats in the cavea are missing. The audience upon entering climbed sloping ramps to their seats, according to gender and social class. Obviously, the higher one's social status, the better their seating arrangement would be. For example, women, accepting spouses and perhaps imperial family, and the poor, stood or sat on wooden benches in the 4th tier. For inclement or very hot weather conditions, an enormous coloured awning could be stretched overhead to protect the crowd. A wooden floor covered subterranean chambers where the gladiators and animals were kept waiting to perform. There is some debate over the idea that the Colosseum was occasionally flooded for mock naval battles. Algem is a town in Tunisia and is home to some of the most impressive Roman remains in Africa. Algem is famous for its amphitheatre, often incorrectly called a Colosseum, capable of seating 35,000 spectators. Only Rome's Colosseum and the ruined theatre of Capua are larger. The amphitheatre at Algem was built by the Romans under proconsul Gordian, who was acclaimed Emperor Thysdrus, and was probably mainly used for gladiator shows and chariot races. It is also possible that construction of the amphitheatre was never finished. Until the 17th century, it remained more or less whole. From then on, its stones were used for building the nearby village of Al-Jem and transported to the Great Mosque in Kairouan. And at a tense moment during struggles with the Ottomans, the Turks used cannons to flush rebels out of the amphitheatre. The ruins of the amphitheatre were declared a World Heritage Site in 1979. The amphitheatre was used for filming some of the scenes from the 1979 Monty Python film, The Life of Brian, and was also used for filming some of the scenes from the film Gladiator. The city of Pompeii is a partially buried Roman city near modern Naples. Along with Herculaneum, Pompeii was destroyed and completely buried during a long catastrophic eruption of the volcano Mount Vesuvius, spanning 2 days in the year AD 79. The eruption buried Pompeii under 4 to 6 metres of ash and pumice, and it was lost for nearly 1,700 years before its accidental rediscovery in 1749. Since then, its excavation has provided an extraordinarily detailed insight into the life of a city at the height of the Roman Empire. Today, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is one of the most popular tourist attractions of Italy. It is presumed that the amphitheatre in Pompeii must have provided the basic model for the subsequent buildings. The form derives from the duplication of the structure of the theatre. Amphitheatre means double theatre or circular theatre. It is an elliptical structure situated in a depression in the ground and backing onto embankments. It consists of a large cavea, around which are the steps, divided into sections, which cover the entire perimeter of the construction. The amphitheatre in Pompeii is an impressive and grandiose construction, capable of holding up to 12,000 spectators. It hosted all the circus shows and the gladiatorial games so dear to the Pompeians, who devoted most of their spare time to these performances. The period of its construction dates back to 80 BC and is therefore one of the oldest buildings in existence, which leads to the inference that it might have represented a model for all of those which were subsequently built in Rome. It was constructed in part by making use of an embankment, in part by digging down into the earth for several metres. The access steps are outside the building. The doors on the western side lead into the arena. Unlike the other Roman amphitheatres, the one in Pompeii does not have an underground section. It was equipped with a velarium that is a cover which was stretched over the complex in case of rain. The rings to which the canopy was fixed can still be seen. The Circus Maximus was the largest stadium in ancient Rome. At one point, the circus could seat 250,000 people, 1/4 of Rome's population. Chariot races were one of the Romans' most popular form of entertainment. Romulus, the first of Rome's 7 kings, is said to have held chariot races there. The origins of the Circus Maximus go back to the 6th century BC, when Priscus, the fifth king of Rome, created a track between the Palatine and Aventine hills. The first permanent starting gates were created in 329 BC. In 174 BC, the gates were rebuilt, and 7 wooden eggs were placed on top of the spina, the central wall in the arena. The eggs were used to count the number of laps. After each lap, 1 egg was removed. In 33 BC, 7 bronze dolphins were added to the spina for the same purpose. A fire in 31 BC, the first of 3, destroyed the wooden structure. It was rebuilt by Emperor Augustus, who also added an imperial box on the Palatine Hill. A large obelisk from Halipolis was added to the spina as a decoration. The obelisk can now be found at the centre of the Piazza del Popolo. Another obelisk was added much later in the 4th century. A second fire in AD 64, which started in wooden shops at the bottom around the track, started the fire that burned much of Rome during the reign of Emperor Nero. Rome Reborn is an international initiative whose goal is the creation of 3D digital models illustrating the urban development of ancient Rome, from the first settlement in the late Bronze Age to the depopulation of the city in the early Middle Ages. With the advice of an international scientific advisory committee, the leaders of the project decided that AD 320 was the best moment in time to begin the work of modelling.
It very much enriching people's experience when they go to Rome because having been there and having visited a lot of these places, the ruins are pretty amazing, but it's difficult to get a really good sense of what it was like when it was kind of in full bloom and all the buildings were there and it was really just a totally different environment.
Ancient Rome 3D shows almost the entire city within the 13-mile-long Aurelian walls as it appeared in AD 320. At that time, Rome was the multicultural capital of the Western world, and it reached the peak of its development with an estimated population of 1 million. Rome Reborn began at the University of California, Los Angeles, and was the culmination of more than a decade of work by an international team of archaeologists, architects, and computer specialists.
The model that we're using has been constructed very meticulously by a team of researchers in order to faithfully represent the way Rome would have looked in 320 AD. This same technology could be used for a number of reconstruction efforts, whether it's in Rome or Mayan ruins or some other archaeological site.
Information technology has permitted them to recreate buildings and monuments that no longer exist, and to digitally restore sites that have been damaged with the passage of time. The results can be used in research to test new theories and in teaching to take students on virtual tours of the historical sites.
Ogni stanza è dotata di alcuni sensori posti sotto il tetto, quindi sopra la nostra testa, che riescono a rilevare la nostra presenza. Quindi una telecamera filtrata agli infrarossi riesce a riconoscere il passaggio di una persona e riesce a mandare un input al segnale, un input al computer, basato proprio sul rilevamento della sua ombra, della sua presenza. Quindi se io mi avvicino a uno schermo e con una mano cerco di pulire un affresco, c'è in realtà una telecamera nascosta con infrarosse che riesce a filtrare i miei movimenti e a trasformarli per un input utilizzabile al computer.
3D Rewind Rome, the interactive museum of ancient Rome, is located next to the Colosseum. The museum offers an interactive journey through Imperial Rome.
Dal punto di vista del successo, credo che sia un grande successo internazionale, nel senso che abbiamo interesse e richieste di visita da tutto il mondo, quindi in poche settimane abbiamo raggiunto oltre 30.000 visitatori. Io credo che oggi il MAV sia il museo più visitato in Campania.
Today's great challenge is preservation of what has been uncovered in ancient Rome. Man is a fortunate species. Over thousands of years, our intelligence has given us tools and technology, art and science, society and civilization. We now possess a treasure house of man's great achievements.
And
For Senegal to attend inauguration of Senegal's president-elect. Christians urged to show love and charity in the spirit of Easter, plus latest in the world of entertainment and sports. Hello and thanks for joining us in NTA2 News at this hour. My name is Michael Olaleye. President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja on Tuesday, April 2, 2024 for Dakar, Senegal to attend the inauguration of Senegal's president-elect, Diomaye Faye. The president's trip is on the invitation of the Republic of Senegal. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will join other regional leaders to witness the inauguration on Tuesday. The president will be accompanied on the trip by Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga and other senior government officials. The president is expected to return to Nigeria after the conclusion of the inauguration. Easter Monday is a significant day in Christendom. It is observed a day after Easter Sunday by Christians in continuation of Christ's resurrection and victory over death. Balaji Akim in this report takes a look at the importance of the day.
Easter worldwide is used to celebrate the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Activities leading to Easter begin with the Lenten period of 40 days fast. Good Friday, the day Jesus was crucified, his resurrection on Easter Sunday, and his appearance on Easter Monday. Christians believe that the day signifies Christ's return to earth after his death to appear to his disciples and other believers, confirming his resurrection as proclaimed before his crucifixion.
It's time to reflect on what happened after the resurrection. You know, the man resurrected, and then he went on to meet people. On the road to Emmaus, even the disciples don't recognize him immediately. You know, he had a discussion with them a long way. He came back to visit his people right inside where they were. In fact, Thomas also doubted along the line until he touched him. He was around until he met over 500 people at a point in time before he ascended to heaven.
Beyond its appearances to believers, understanding what the celebration stands for and imbibing the lessons inherent in it by Christians and Nigerians in general, according to clergymen, will bring about the needed progress in the country.
With the victory of Jesus over death and sin and evil, we are sure that we will surely conquer. So I will say to my fellow Christians, never to give up, no matter the situation they are going through right now, that the Lord Jesus Christ is still the means of joy and happiness.
It means the life of God in us, it means the breath of God in us, it means the strength of God in us, and the power of His glory in us.
Easter Monday is the beginning of Jesus' 40 days on earth before his ascension to heaven. During this time, Jesus appeared to believers, healed the sick, and spread the word of God. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
A special prayer for Nigeria and our president has been organized by the Lagos State Ministry of Home Affairs in commemoration of Easter and Ramadan. Joy Ken Abapoya reports that the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the event urged citizens to appreciate the federal government's policies under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu as they are beginning to yield positive impact on the nation.
In the current appreciation of the Naira, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says every step taken by the federal government in line with its renewed hope agenda is to improve the living condition of Nigerians. He described President Bola Tinubu as a go-getter who will not stop until the dream of a better Nigeria is achieved. Governor Sanwo-Olu also charged businessmen and women across the country to ensure that the upward gain of the Naira reflect on cost of goods and services.
You know, people cannot continue to give reasons while it went up, and now that it's coming down, it also needs to reflect, you know, in the cost of rice, in the cost of beans, in the cost of tomato, and that's a message for all of us, because we want to be our brother's keepers. We want to ensure that, you know, the suffering, we need to bring an end to it. I want to thank Mr. President, you know, for taking the leadership, for working with all the sub-nationals, for taking the leadership, and for believing in his government. And we're beginning to see, you know, the benefit of it. So my wish is for all of us to enjoy the season, to be as peaceful as we have always been, to do things in moderation.
On their part, religious leaders admonished Nigerians to be steadfast and believe that a better nation will emerge despite the current economic challenges.
تفسدوا في الأرض بعد إصلاحها. Allah has given you a beautiful country. Stop destroying that country and Allah will accept your prayer. There will always be a time that difficulty will come. Things will not go normal. But the only thing you can do is to be thankful. Nigeria will be good. Because when Nigeria is good, you are good. For in Jesus' name we are praying.
Prayers were offered for the nation's leaders and for peace in the country. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
The beautiful story of Easter portrays sacrifice, love, and unwavering faith in God. And this is what Christians are expected to imbibe this season. It is no wonder then that the wife of the Lagos State Governor hosted a family Easter fiesta for children. How did it go? Let's hear from Joy Ken Abakuya.
We're here to celebrate them. It's not about giving them any lecture, but it's about them having fun.
That was the atmosphere at the 2024 Family Easter Fiesta, organized by the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. The annual event is to give children and families across the state a reason to smile this Easter season. Speaking on behalf of Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, the wife of the Deputy Governor, Oluremi Hamzat, says the season allows reflecting on the timeless values of Christianity as it challenges believers to deepen their relationship with their Maker.
We always have to make sure that we stay away from sin. We are closer to God.
Whether you are a Muslim or Christian, it's only prayer that can do it. Don't give up on your country.
She admonished the children to take heed to parental guidance and their studies and live to please God.
We remember that Jesus Christ died for on the cross just for us to be saved. We have to make sure that we are very good to our neighbors, to everybody around us.
Recognizing the fact that they are our leaders of tomorrow, we need to nurture them by inculcating the right value into them.
That they should imbibe the spirit of this period. That is humbleness. Then they should embrace, they should know that the future belongs to them.
It was fun and more fun for the children at the 2024 Family Easter Fiesta, as the children shared in the joy of the resurrection of Christ. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakbuya, NTA News.
Easter celebration to many Christians means one thing: a time to celebrate the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, which is the foundation of the Christian faith. What are the other beliefs of Easter? Let's join Larry Bilei as he shares the essence of this season.
The emperor of Rome when Jesus was crucified was Tiberius, whose full name was Tiberius Julius Augustus Caesar. Marcus Pontius Pilatus, on the other hand, was the governor of Judea, who gave the order for the crucifixion of Jesus. Bible scholars agree that the Jewish man called Jesus of Nazareth did exist in the Herodian kingdom of Judea in the 1st century CE, upon whose life and teachings Christianity was later founded. His death by crucifixion is one of the harrowing methods of punishing antagonists to the Roman rule. Also, 28th century scholars' record states that Jesus died by crucifixion and his tomb was empty 3 days later. And this gave birth to Easter, that is, the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
If Christ did not rise from the dead, then our faith means nothing.
Easter validated Jesus as the resurrection and life, is the finished product of salvation.
In the Christian calendar, Easter is said to be the oldest festival. It is also a reminder that Christians should reflect that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always hope and the power of resurrection that ushers in new beginnings. A conviction Christians say is needed in Nigeria at the moment.
We need to all collectively think together that what is in our collective best interest. That's what you call the Nigerian vision and the Nigerian dream. God is not going to come from heaven and do them for us. But if we do them, then the things that we cannot do, like fair weather, like stable environment, like meeting the right people, like favor from other people with foreign direct investments, like security, and so on and so forth, to some extent, God will then do it for us. It's a partnership. And everybody must know that God is not a magician. He's laid his rules. He's died on the cross. He wants you to believe. He wants you to fear him. He wants you to behave appropriately. Then you will pass the exam.
We must be able to pay sacrifice for economic buoyancy of our nation. Every nation go through their time of turbulence, and at the end of it all, they have time to be able to harvest. As Jesus paid the price of salvation on Friday, and on Sunday he resurrected, we as Nigerians must be able to pay the price of bearing the little suffering, the little pain, and to endure, because Jesus endured.
As Nigerians celebrate this season, Christians say it is time to be sacrificial, to remember those who are in need. It is another avenue for individuals to reflect soberly on the current socio-economic realities and look for ways to help in repairing the cracks in affected areas in communities. Larry Bilei, NTA News.
All over the world, some Christians, especially of the Catholic and Anglican faiths, are commemorating Easter, the day that Jesus Christ triumphed over death and resurrected. On the surface, it marks the end of the 40 days Lenten season, but it holds very important lessons for humanity. The atmosphere this period is different, as many people went through economic uncertainty and political challenges. Frankly speaking, here in Nigeria, different people have different views about what this year's Easter represents. And here is Adejoke Odeka with a cross-section of reactions.
Easter is a significant festival wherein Christians all over the world commemorate the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. This celebration, however, means different things to different people. While some say it is about sharing the love of Jesus Christ, others say it is about enjoying the day with family and friends.
On the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus, tend to share the good news of the love of Christ towards men.
I think it's by choice. It's by choice, whatever you want to do on that day. Like today being Easter, you know, some people would decide to fast. Some may decide maybe to make their family happy.
This celebration also provides opportunity for Christians and non-Christians to travel and felicitate with families and friends.
Easter celebration is always very nice. You go to church and praise God, and you know, you feel happy. This day is always our day.
We need to show more love to our neighbors and to the Christian community.
Easter should be a period when we should look back, we should look within ourselves. Are we loving our neighbors? Are we living as Christ lived when he was on earth?
Though Easter celebration comes after observing 40 days fast, Christians have been advised to always remember the essence and the ultimate sacrifice paid.
If Christ has died and risen for us, we must pay back to him whatever that word pays back means. We must pay back by ensuring that we do our best to overcome our shortcomings that we have identified during Lent, and then turn a new leaf, start a new life, as at resurrection a new life was begun for Jesus.
The commemoration of Easter is a solid reminder of the unconditional love of Christ for mankind. So I ask, what does Easter mean to you? In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA2, your Richard station. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly. Please stay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is here again. NTA2 Lagos Network Center is inviting individuals and corporate organizations to take advantage of the blessed month to earn rewards from Allah by sponsoring any of our spiritually rewarding segments on Ramadan Diet, showing between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day of the month of Ramadan. Call to prayers, interactive segment, Tarawih prayer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, living in the month of Ramadan, and so much more. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 369, GoTV and StarTimes channel 104. You can also follow us on our social media platform via Facebook at NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Ma'asalam.
Gluttony is still there. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, in collaboration with the Self-Help Africa, has strategized to mitigate carbon emission from agricultural waste. The project aims at reducing the emissions that we assist in increasing the adaptive capacity of Nigerian farmers. Musa Babaliu reports.
It is a known fact that agricultural activities contribute largely to the pollution of the environment. Burning of agricultural residues, use of chemicals in controlling pests, or preparing fields for planting are some of the actions contributing to air pollution and contamination. This therefore brought about partnership between the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security with Self-Help African Group to mitigate environmental pollution from farming activities. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry in a message said the government is committed to the implementation of the project aimed at reducing the open burning of farm residues.
We are trying to ensure that we sensitize farmers on certain activities. We are trying to ensure that we provide information to farmers on the climate onset, cessation, and duration.
Joy Aderele, the country director of Self-Help Africa, pledged that their organization would collaborate with the federal government to strengthen existing structures, enhance resilience, and improve crop yields, among others.
A pilot program with farmers to reduce open burning. We know that when people burn their farm waste, it can cause a lot of health issues and environmental issues. So this project is an 18-month pilot to work with 500 farmers in Boko. But the learnings from this project is going to be across Nigeria.
In this very project, we are looking at having 20 demonstration farms in this particular local government of 25 farmers each. We do farmers field school where they come, they learn the demonstration, they learn not through maybe coming to sit in the class, but we are doing it on the job.
The project, with a lifespan of 18 months, is expected to contribute to achieving the goals of Nigeria's 2019 National Action Plan in reducing black carbon emissions by 83% and methane emissions by 61% by 2030. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Time now for news on the international scene.
Russian media report has revealed that an operation to rescue 13 gold miners trapped by a landslide in the far east of Russia has ended, with the miners presumed dead. Efforts at the Pioneer mine in the Amur region could not continue due to fears of further rock collapses. It should be recalled that the landslide happened 2 weeks ago, trapping the miners more than 100 meters underground. Officials are investigating a possible breach of safety rules. According to authorities, 8 Chinese migrants have been found dead on the coast of southern Mexico after their boat capsized along a popular route for illegally entering the United States. The state's prosecutor's office said that bodies of the 7 women and 1 man were discovered on a beach in San Francisco del Mar, Oaxaca. The Oaxaca prosecutor's office also said that the migrants had traveled on a boat operated by a Mexican man, which set off last week from Tapachula, Chiapas State, near the Guatemala border, adding that 1 Chinese man survived the trip. Finally, Israeli military forces have withdrawn from Gaza's largest hospital, Al-Shifa, after a 14-day siege that witnesses and Gazan authorities say left the medical facility largely destroyed. Reports say more than 30 wounded people were transported from Al-Shifa to the Al-Ali Baptist Hospital east of Gaza City. The Ministry of Health in Gaza said about 3,000 people were inside Al-Shifa when the IDF began its raid on the 18th of March, and that those attempting to leave were being targeted by snipers and fire from helicopters. For Global Tidbits, Adejoke Odeka.
Time now for entertainment news.
Hello, and welcome to the entertainment segment of the news. The president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, Emeka Rollas, has extended gratitude to the Nigerian president, Tinubu, for supporting legendary actor Zach Orji's recovery. Emeka Rollas, who disclosed this in a statement by the Guild's Senior Special Advisor, Media Press Secretary Femi Durojaye, revealed that on behalf of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, the national president expressed deep appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his fatherly intervention, for his love and concern for the former president of the Guild, Mr. Zach Orji, who has left for the United Kingdom for post-surgery assessment. Still on entertainment news, Nigerian actor Okpeyemi Ayeola has expressed gratitude to Jehovah as well as the medical team after undergoing a successful emergency surgery. While thanking God for his love and mercy, the star, who is recuperating following the surgery, said that it is good to be back home. She went on to appreciate her family and friends for their support, care and love, as well as everyone who noticed her absence on social media and checked up on her. Now to the foreign scene. The death of American actor Chance Perdomo, best known for his role as Andre in popular movie Gen V, has been confirmed by his representatives. According to reports, his death was as a result of a motorcycle accident. That concludes entertainment news. I am Adejoke Odeka. Thanks for watching.
Sport update is next.
The Super Falcons of Nigeria have begun campaign in Abuja ahead of their crucial double-header Paris 2024 Women Football Qualifiers under the tutelage of coach Randy Waldron. Meanwhile, the Bayana of South Africa have landed in Abuja in preparation for the crucial encounter. The team under the tutelage of Desiree Ellis touched down on Sunday afternoon brimming with confidence. The game against the Falcons will take place at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium on Friday, 5th of April, while the return leg will take place in Pretoria next week. The opening ceremony of the 2023 FIFA Club World Cup held in Morocco has been awarded the Best Ceremony Prize at the Heavens Awards 2024 in Cannes, France. The awards recognize Moroccan talent and creativity that translated into international standards. The ceremony also paid tribute to the daughter of late football legend Pelé and featured special appearance by the coach Walid Regragui of Morocco. In the English Premier League, Manchester City and Arsenal handed Liverpool the advantage in the Premier League title race as they played out a goalless stalemate at the Etihad Stadium. Liverpool are now top of the table with 2 points clear of Arsenal and 3 ahead of City after defeating Brighton 2-1 at Anfield. In tennis, Italy's Jannik Sinner cruised past Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets to win the Miami Open. The Australia Open champion Sinner, who previously finished as runners-up in Miami in 2021 and 2023, defeated the Bulgarian 6-3, 6-1. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
That's the news at this hour. Thanks for watching. I am Michael Olaleye.
Childhood was bliss for most of us. We played in the sand from sunup to sundown, running in the wind, Pollyanna, and letting life lead. But not for all of us. Some children have it rough. Some children don't get to have happy memories in their childhood, except the ones they intentionally create for themselves. Domestic violence does not just affect the adults involved. It can have profound impact on a child who witnesses it. This can be terrifying for the child and can live constantly on edge. This fear can cause serious stress for the child, and although they may grow physically, they will be lacking emotionally. They would have a distorted knowledge of family. They might not be able to concentrate in school or make friends as other children would. Domestic violence can traumatize a child in so many ways. In order to build a society where every child is safe, if you are experiencing domestic violence or you know someone who is, please seek help. There are resources available to support you and your family. You are not alone.
Business Hub and Personality Show with Dr. Lillian, a program showcasing outstanding professionals in public service around the world. It celebrates personalities who have shown leadership, courage, resourcefulness, and willingness to sacrifice for others, especially in promoting legitimate businesses. Business Hub and Personality Show with Dr. Lillian will feature interviews with personalities, corporate events coverage and promotion, product and services marketing, social activities coverage, award ceremonies coverage, business networking, AGM coverage, and